see their ads there.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
surprise.
that's nice.
Big water. Okay.
No, I did not choose for this spring.
Did you say this one before?
They're in Lincoln, yeah.
Oh, I just need our shit. My feet are short. My feet are short. That's why I can't stand the pain. I can't stand the
You have 5 feet.
pain. They just don't. They hurt all the, yeah. I'm sorry
When you paint standing up, or if you ever paint standing up, do you hold your palette?
No, I put it on a table.
Yeah.
You can't that way.
Yes, it's big, heavy.
Do you normally stand? I've never seen this.
In my studio, if I'm working on something small enough, I'll stand. The problem is, in my old studio, my window started about where that light starts and went up 12 feet from there. And so the angle was great, and I always stood. But now, the higher I get, the more glare I get, and so it's just a pain.
I like the idea of using fewer brushes. I am one of those people that has too many brushes going at the same time.
Yeah, I just,
Tons of brushes, my grandpa.
No, and it's confusing, you're right, you lose track of, what's got what color on it, and
right.
Why not buy this brush?
And you really just don't need that aggravation.
You said you use a number 4 for the big painting. How many number 4 paint brushes did you use though?
Well, I've killed
34?
two brushes here today.
Yeah, I know.
One for
I
the
was
drawing, one
thinking
for the painting.
34 brushes, number 4.
Probably. But like I said, there's all kinds of places where you can skimp, where you can't skimp on paint and you can't skimp on brushes.
yeah.
And canvas.
What's the next best thing to Crements White? I
Um,
heard you talking about 2 different other
It's,
whites.
yeah, I'm still fighting with them.
Quite catch the
It's-
conversation.
We're gonna be stuck with
The zinc, titanium.
Titanium?
right, titanium.
Is that, you would have that over the zinc?
Well, they have zinc titanium.
No difference?
It all depends on what company,
They have
because some of them are
titanium,
really
zinc
oily.
white or something.
I always thought zinc was, the titanium's more opaque than zinc.
Well, they have a combination.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
They have a combination. They said it's better. They said somebody did some research and they said it was better.
So you like the titanium because it has stronger whitening properties compared to?
I actually like Crements.
Yeah.
I prefer
Yeah,
Crements
Crements
white.
Crements, that's, yeah.
Like
Crements
is
is the best, sorry, Ron,
is
I
it
cut
like
you
a
off.
flake white? Or
What's that?
is it like a flake white? Or
Well, it's like old flake white. The new flake white, that's lousy stuff too.
I was shocked when I saw a demonstration of titanium white and Crements with a color. The titanium just flattened it out. It was terrible. And the Crements was brilliant. And then they showed you if you use titanium with, I think, zinc in it, it's not as bad as the titanium. It's closer to the Crements.
Ron, is it still made in other countries that we could buy it on the internet?
Or is it?
Crements
Brandon's done more research than I don't think he's
What?
been able to find it.
Is it available in other countries that we could buy it on the internet?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Other countries? Well, there are still brands that make it. Michael Harding I've tried, which is okay. It's
So I said, now
still pretty
I
oily. You've got to
give it
leach out some of the oil.
So I say on YouTube.
So it can.
That's
can
probably
be
the best
bought.
one that I've found.
What's the brand?
Michael Harding.
Harding.
Harding. It's expensive though.
How do you spell Harding?
Brushes.
Harding.
Thank you.
And he's a professor, and said, you're terrific. Thank you so much, he was surprised. That's a year. Well, I think someone's smart going.
I thought it was phased out, that you couldn't sell it. It was not in this country anymore.
Yeah, that's why.
You can get the Michael Harding from Blick.
And that's Crements?
Yeah,
Michael Harding.
But it's not cost effective. It's
It's
like
really
$120 for two. You
well, the
know?
little ones are like
$50.
$20 or something. So I've been buying that
2 ounces.
and then just mixing it in with the titanium to get a consistency I like.
Well, I'd like to try
Can you
it.
mix
Yeah.
lead with titanium?
We're gonna try it, Ron.
They use lead paint
Yeah.
with other paint, so we have titanium.
Hmm.
So you can go a little bit crazy now.
Yeah, because we're not gonna skimp on our paint or our brushes, Ron.
Right.
Well, I have a huge amount of paint
See, I can pretend I'm
from
paying
the
attention.
60s and the 70s.
I'm very seriously paying
So I have
attention.
lead tubes.
Wow. You mean extra paint you didn't use up?
Yeah, well, I stopped painting for several years now, back and forth with painting.
No.
It was the sixties and seventies, it's a long time ago.
And I have a lot of other paint too, I just have these two, so I don't know what's missing. And a lot of different paints.
They're pretty firm.
Yeah,
Stuff in the tubes.
a couple of tubes I have, I bought that crank thing and it comes off a piece of pipe. But the others are fine, you know, no problem. I got them from, I got them from.
Ron, is that cool where you've put it?
What's that?
Is that cool where you put it there?
What, you lost me.
Right, that
It
bit
will
you just did, is that
eventually.
reading cool?
Yeah.
What sort of relationship did you have with Nelson? I know you were with him before Incavanati was started.
Yeah, I was there. I was with him for at least 4 years, and it was a difficult situation. He was a very difficult person to live with. I could really get into it, but it was just a real.
mentoring.
What's that?
It was a mentoring situation.
Yeah, I mean, I lived there in the house 7 days a week. I mean, you weren't allowed to have a life. You couldn't have people over. He wanted bodies in the house because he didn't have any alarm system. He had a huge collection of Italian Baroque paintings, so he used us quite a bit. He was a lousy teacher.
Should I turn the camera off?
Oh shoot!
Nelson who?
Meaning in the fact that when I say lousy teacher, he never really taught. You had to be a really good student. Really, and so I always placed myself right behind him to watch him paint. So that was the way I learned a great deal.
Wow. Probably too late now.
What's that?
Can you back it up?
Oh, it's recorded.
I don't have any way to edit the video.
So you learned a lot from him or you didn't? I missed that part.
I learned a great deal from him. But I had to take
In
it.
spite of him.
Yes,
you
I
learned a lot.
had to really
You
take
don't
it.
have software,
dead.
you don't have software to edit it? No.
What's that?
I asked if you could have software to edit.
I don't.
Why would you want to
Windows,
edit that?
Windows.
That's part of history.
True.
Brandon?
What?
Windows used to have a free software. I used to teach animation and video and stuff in high school. But Windows used to have a free software animation program. It was a video animation program that you could edit a video. You could cut out frames. You just you just cut those frames out and then just save it again. It's just a file.
Well, I have a Mac. I mean, I'm sure I could find some software
Yeah,
for
it's
it,
got-
but
Yeah, you can just run it through and then just find it and chop it. A little title at the beginning.
or just turn the sound off.
And you can type a title in the beginning, one front and painting.
I don't think that many people are watching these videos.
No.
Well, you don't want to have people rolling over.
I can't do any more damage to my career than I already
Yeah,
have.
really.
You want people rolling over in their grave, coming back at Ron.
Speaking of which, I stopped in Ingram this weekend.
Mhm.
I'd love to see you in a nicer gallery.
See that?
Came to Ingram this weekend. It's a horrible presentation.
Just don't put this one up.
You went to Ingram?
What?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, what about it? The guy's an ass. Did you get that? The guy's an ass. In Ingram's.
Don't do
I have
that.
it on tape. Ron will never see his paintings again.
All right, I'll stop there. I got it pretty good and wet. Any questions about this train wreck?
Oh, should we all
Can
paint
I
so
have
badly?
it?
So you just blend with that motion are just doing on that sheet?
What I end
How
up-
do you blend?
What I'll end up doing is I won't really blend as much as I will interweave my paint.
Okay,
One time I'll paint in this direction, next time I'll go into this direction because I want both of them to come through. And so there's an interweaving that happens with the way I paint. I don't physically go in and try to pull my colors
yeah,
together.
okay.
If I want to pull them together, that comes later. And what I'll do is I'll find a color between the colors to transition them. If I refine this, I'm refining something that isn't ready to be refined. And I'm going to make it look too pretty,
Right,
and then you're going to be afraid to touch it.
right. So,
And so what I do, this is so rough, I've got all kinds of reasons to go back in there and paint and change things and whatever. And so I try to keep it as rough as I can for as long as I can until I start getting the colors where I want them and things to work. It should look relatively solid from back where you are, and it should look kind of abstract when you get up here. And that's what I go for.
and you painting close to it like you are, I mean, at this point, do you step back to look at it?
Normally I would.
Yeah.
I know what it looks like
Yeah,
from
yeah,
back here.
right,
And so from my experience, I don't really need to wear the floor out.
right. Okay,
I know exactly what it's going to look like from back there.
okay.
So anyway, and again, that's part of being efficient.
And then, and when you decide to stop, it's because you
It's
said
because it's, what do you mean when I decide to stop?
Like you're stopping now?
I'm stopping now because I've got it all covered, plus our night's over with.
Yeah, okay.
But, and so that's about, if I were doing this in my own studio, this is where I would have gotten in 2 hours, but I would have painted for the rest of the day. And so-
Even though it's wet?
There's areas that I can go in that I can still put more paint in and whatever. There's things that'll set up a little bit and I can work back into those. But I could paint the entire day. And then tomorrow, most of it would be dry enough to go back into to a certain degree. Some of it wouldn't be. You have to know when to not touch it, because if you work over wet paint that's sort of wet but not really too wet, again, you're going to slicken the surface. So it's good to have a couple of paintings to work on and let one set. But again, that's what I would do in 2 hours.
Cool, great.
So you don't varnish at the end?